So great to have you guys here. Welcome to AOL Build. And just want to congratulate you on this album. I got a sneak peek of it, and I've heard some of the singles, and I love it so far. It's your 12th studio album?
Are you a heavy music fan?
Yeah, I'm a rock and roll. I'm like a rock and roll. I'm a music girl.
Yeah.
So all around. I like country, I like rock, I like pop. Oh, no!
Country? No, I actually, I live in Nashville, so I'm a country music fan.
Yeah. I'm
Not really,
open.
but I kind of like it, appreciate it.
Yeah, I was a rock DJ for quite a while on the radio, so yeah, so I'm into it. So 12th studio album here. What did you guys set out to do this time around for this set?
I mean, we always set out to make a great record and something that translates live. I think that was what we really wanted to do. Make sure that the songs, that the audience was enjoying themselves, and that when we play them live, I think the energy translates when we go out and play live shows, because that means a lot to us when we see fans interacting with each other.
Sure. So what is that process like? Do you go into the studio first? Are you writing at home? How does that work for you all?
It's been different every record.
Yeah.
Just start jamming, really. You know, it's like when we started music, I was in my bedroom listening to Dokken, Motley Crue, and Rat, and all these bands, Iron Maiden, and I would just jam out. And so this is the same thing. We get to be kids still. We get into a room and we start jamming out. So me, Ray, and Munky went into a room and started jamming out, a little closet in Hollywood, and then Fieldy joined us, and then we brought stuff to Jonathan, and he didn't like it, and then we kept working.
I didn't.
Go back to
so
the
true.
This is real talk.
Real talk here. I hated
So
it.
you're a tough critic there.
That's good. He keeps us on our toes and to keep working to get to be our best.
So what did you, with the songwriting process, what are the influences? Where are you getting that from?
I mean, it's a combination of like stuff that we grew up listening to, anywhere from like old Faith No More stuff, Sepultura, NWA, old hip hop stuff, even current stuff like Bring Me the Horizon, and anything that we like.
And we're all into weird, different stuff. I think that's why we all work good together. Because
Yeah.
I'm a total huge old like 80s neuromantic fan from that kind of music. I love pop music, all new hip hop, EDM stuff. So, and each one of us have something we're all into. And I think with this all coming together like that, that's what makes us what we do.
So I mean, who tell me, let's go through the list. Like, who are your influences? We'll start with you.
My influences?
Yeah.
It can be anything. It can be like an old movie like Halloween or something. Yeah. It's creating a mood. It's really, that's what it is about. It's creating a mood or something that sparks the next guy, and the next guy comes up and adds something to that. Sort of like if I come up with a guitar riff or a sound, and and Ray puts a beat on it, or Head puts another sound on top of it, and it just lays a bed of something for Jonathan to either feel or get inspired by. So it can be anything. It can be art. It can be a band. It can be, Rage Against the Machine was a huge influence on me. So.
And I feel like you guys are an influence on new bands. How often do you hear that? You've been around since the mid-'90s. People coming up to you like you influence them.
More now lately.
Yeah.
A lot. Feels good.
Yeah.
Who
have you heard that from? Which bands?
Like Day to Remember, these new bands. I think a lot of those. I mean, about you, Of Mice of Men, maybe.
I went and saw A Day to Remember. My daughters took me to go see them because I didn't even know about this band. And I walk in, and their guitar player's like, "Oh, I can't believe you're right here. I had your posters on my wall." And I'm all, "You did?" I was like, I don't know. And he's like tripping out. I was like, "Oh, cool. Like, I don't know."
But I got a funny story.
Yeah, tell it.
We played with Nikki Sixx from Motley Crue in Europe just a few weeks ago.
Yes.
And Fieldy goes, yeah. Fieldy told Nikki, he goes, "Hey, before we take our relationship further, I have to tell you, I drew you when I was a kid." So it's like we're all fans, And so these bands that tell us that we've influenced them, we've been there too. And
Yep.
I get giddy around people still, and I'm almost 60.
You're right.
Wow.
Wait.
You look amazing.
Head up.
You look amazing for that, for 60.
That's too funny. That is really.
Botox.
Both sides. Well, I mean, but no, take me back though. I mean, so that, in the early 90s, you kind of started grassroots like, right? And to become, what you are after your debut album, it really hit really big. Can you talk about that and what that felt like at that time?
The grassroots movement, this band started and people wanted to know what we were by. We had this rehearsal studio, Underground Chicken Sound.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy that owned it, Creeth, he had a printing press or like a screen printer. And we got all the sticker paper and we printed 1 billion Korn stickers. And all we did up and down California, a lot in Huntington Beach, where we lived at the time, is slap these Korn stickers everywhere. And it got to the point where they were all up and down because we were going up north to hang out with the Deftones at the time who were unsigned. And we played the clubs up there that they played and they'd come down here. So they were everywhere at the time. So people started going, what is this Korn thing? And that's how.
And it's not spelled correctly.
It's the same logo as we have today, basically. And so it's creepy looking, and it's Korn and they're just
It was
like,
on
what is
every
this?
stop sign from here to Sacramento, from HB to Sacramento.
It's like looks like Halloween's coming or something.
Yeah, right.
And that's how we started building this. They just wanted to know what that sticker was.
Do you think that, but beyond that, how else did you get the word out besides that? You were playing
That's all we did.
gigs?
We played gigs.
Yeah.
And it would be 2 people there, and next time there'd be 4, and it would just keep doubling. And it just grew into what it is now.
That's it. And this is daily.
Born a China shop. Born a China
The
shop.
first thing I
daily,
did
sorry,
is fill
guys.
it, and now I knocked it over.
Let's just
Normally
say
it's
it's
on
not
me.
the first time that's happened
He's
on
looking
the
for
A&E
room.
Not even
Build
today.
stage. No, yeah, I'm sure.
For him.
Yeah.
He's looking for roommates, everyone.
Was that vodka? Was that vodka?
Luckily, it's only water, so we're in good shape. So you just celebrated your 20-year anniversary. What was it, like a couple years ago now? So you're like 22 years in. What do you think it is that kept you guys together? This length of time, this long?
Because we still laugh together.
Yeah.
See? Do you see that?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. We're brothers. We're like family.
It's Ray. He was the glue that we needed. This.
And those two
Missing
constantly
link.
fight. They bust each other's balls every single day to get a chance. Those two go at it.
We really care about each other. Like for instance, like when Jonathan wasn't feeling some of the songs, we weren't like, hey, man, that's our song. Oh.
See?
Just get everything out.
We weren't like, man, we wrote that song. We were like, in our heart, we were bummed. We were like, no, get it away from
I
me.
don't know. Dane, he's a
And we were like-
liability.
We were like, man, we worked hard on that. And I didn't call him up and say, dude, what's up? Would you? It was like, we care. And so it's humility in a relationship, And
Right, and
like,
it's compromise. It's like, how can we make the song better? Is there any part of the song that we can, the ability to compromise and
Totally.
help each other through whatever it is, tough times.
On my side, I honestly wanted to try hard as I can because I didn't want to let them down too. It's just how we all are.
Yeah,
And there
we
were songs on the album that I hated. I won't sing on that. That is what are they thinking? And that one song ended up on the album. It's my favorite track.
Really?
Please come
Which
for
song,
me.
Which
Please
song
come
is
for-
that?
Please come from me.
Oh yeah. Okay. So why is
I-
it your favorite?
Because I
The
hated it
riff.
so bad.
Yeah.
It was like you were probably like, I'm gonna make this my favorite song. 'Cause
No, when Nick kept saying this is going to end up being your favorite song.
Nick's our
I don't know what the
producer,
hell
Nick
you're talking about.
Raskulinecz.
And ended up and just, I came in the studio that night and I heard this melody in my head. I'm all, roll it. I was freaking out. I heard this. I think this might be good. And when I sang the melody, boom, it all came together. And he goes, see, I told you. And I go, I hate to tell you, but it is my favorite song.
But I was with him on that one. I never liked that song. And
I didn't
he
think it
sang
was
it, and
gonna
I was
make
like,
it.
oh, I like it now. But
I didn't think I was gonna make the cut.
I wasn't hurt by that one at all. That you didn't like it.
That's great, though. You sometimes end up loving the first thing that you hate, right?
It's music.
But
It's
Rotting
awesome.
in Vain was the first single you released from this record. Lots of streams on Spotify and everywhere else. Can you tell us a little bit about that song?
That actually was Nick, our producer, told us, he's like, the last couple of days in the studio of real writing, we're supposed to be tracking drums actually, and he's like, you guys really have to write another song. And we're like, what? We have so many songs, are you crazy?
I told him I'm done writing songs, man.
Yeah, he
We've
was
been-
freaking out.
Like he worked us so hard. There are no computers, no cheating, no microwave songs. It was just like spend time in the studio with your guitar.
And he's so passionate about what he does. So
He's
he's
like,
just
no, man,
"Bag
you
it."
guys gotta just try to give me 1 or 2 more songs. We're just like, oh God, okay.
And this
then
one came out of that.
Rotting in Vain and Insane.
Insane, both of them.
Yeah,
The
those
two
were the
singles, the two
Yeah.
songs. And so with the video situation, Insane video's out. Do you guys have a say in how that's constructed and what you want to see in the video?
I mean, we're shown storyboards and the idea and treatments and stuff. So yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Management like has, I think they weed through like the BS, so like, you know, so we don't see the cheesy ones, and then they give us their opinion, and it usually like matches ours.
Okay, so you've been playing some of these you're going on tour. You're on tour this year. What can we expect on the road? I know you're touring with Breaking Benjamin, right? Yeah. What can we expect from a Korn tour 2016?
Just intensity, which you can always expect from us. It's a good time. It's just a place for everybody to come together and just wild out, have a good time, and get all their aggressions out. We've built this 22 years on this band, on that thing. It's all about the music and the aggression. Production and all the other lights are nice and stuff like that, but it's the core of this band has always been about the music. And if anyone's, some of you guys out there are Korn fans, been to Korn shows, it's all about that.
Yeah, like connecting with our fans has been such a big part of this band and going. And I think that's when we were young, going to a concert and seeing like, just that interaction between the band and the fans has always been super important to us. And we try to recreate that every show for our fans now.
Would you say this new album is a little bit of a throwback to your earlier sound?
There's elements of that.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
What about
Nick, can I say Nick Raskulinix? He wanted to do like the whole catalog, like high points from just all the influences, and so I think it's a heavy record, but I think he did that well. It's well balanced.
Would you say it's a darker record than we've seen before?
I think there's moments.
Mm-hmm. It's just heavy.
I mean, lyrically, I think Jonathan goes pretty dark with some of the
There's art in
content.
this one.
Raw emotion from him that's on a different level, I think, on this record, definitely from Jonathan.
Yeah. That's cool. You play here, you play overseas. What's it like playing here versus going over in Europe? You have a lot of big fans there too. What's the vibe like? How is it different?
Right.
Europe's out of control. I mean, I love playing the States. This is our home. We're from here. But there's something about the European festivals. I mean, those guys, they camp out in tents for a week before. And if it's open at noon, they're there with their fists in the air until we go on. They're out of there at midnight. It's kind of crazy. 60, 80,000 people all bouncing at once. It's just, there's nothing more powerful.
They're not as jaded over there.
Yeah.
They really truly love music, and when they love a band, it's not a fat thing. They love that band until they die. They don't grow out of band. It's just,
They're like Raider fans.
exactly.
Traders. 60, 80,000 people. Do you ever get nervous? Or you've been doing this for so long, you don't.
Of course.
Yeah?
Your head doesn't.
He doesn't ever get nervous. Listen, when I left Korn, I went and did solo stuff, and I was singing, and I got nervous all the time. And so when I come back to Korn, I'm like, I just play guitar, I feel for him. He's like,
it's intense.
he could be sick one day, and he's got to like rock that crowd and make him feel like he feels like $1 million. And man, I got a lot of respect for him and singers in general.
Oh, yeah. I mean, after doing this for so many years, but still, I mean, you have to be on. You probably have had off nights, too. I mean, but you got to still plow through.
Suck it up.
Yeah.
And then what pushes me on is seeing the crowd go crazy, and then I'm like, I forget about it.
What's it like touring now versus when you first got your start? I mean, in terms of like you have kids, families, that whole thing.
All of them.
We all have families, giant families.
Giant families.
We do. It's hard sometimes, and but there's a balance I think we all kind of find, and get to go out and have fun with your bros, and then go home and be with your family.
But FaceTime.
FaceTime.
I mean,
Yeah, that
here I'm
makes
going
it
to ask
easier.
you a question. So, is it a lot easier with FaceTime now?
Yeah,
You guys?
Way
like,
easier.
Way
Thanks,
easier
Dad.
because you can see
He's
them.
taking over now.
Yeah.
Because he's, I'll just say my family is tiny. I have 2 people in my family. I mean, it's me and my daughter, and it's been like that since she was 3, and she's 18 now.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So that's why I want to ask them that.
Yeah.
So, because I didn't have FaceTime with her.
At home, I got mine, and all the kids and my wife all have them. So when like stuff's going crazy at home, I'm popping my face up in each one of them, telling them to go do this.
Oh, really?
From on the
They're in
road.
different
They're in
bedrooms.
different
Yeah,
bedrooms.
you're
I'm like,
like,
what are
hey,
you
I'm
doing?
here.
Why are you picking on your brother? Oh, he started it. So
It's like
hang
the
up.
Brady Bunch.
I go to
with
that.
the little
really?
squares everywhere.
I do it
I do that too.
all lot. Do you do the same?
Yeah,
It's
you have
the
all the
same.
squares, and
got
you
the
get
squares.
all of them. You're like,
What are you doing?
Didn't have that, man.
Yeah, it's different. I mean, that's the thing I was going to also ask you. You know, the technology and the music industry has changed quite a bit since you guys got your start. You can talk a little bit about that and how that's influenced you, or you know, just the music industry in general.
I mean, you got to find the curve. You got to go with the curve. And today, for us, I think it's about being in front of the fans, and it's just shifted from record sales to like ticket sales, you know. And you just got to kind of adapt as that happens. It's kind of hard to tell where it's going to go, but
And use all the technology that's available to you. We were one of the first bands to ever embrace that back in '97. No, it was '96. We were one of the first bands ever to stream live on the web and landed this in Time Magazine. It was everywhere. We did this thing up at Indigo when this new company called QuickTime came out.
Oh my
And
gosh.
it was, it's this breaking new technology. They came in with this big-ass camera, and they shot the studio, and you could just click on the mouse. It was just groundbreaking stuff at the time. And we got to play a couple songs live to them streaming. This was just groundbreaking stuff, and we always figured out a way to figure that out and have that as part of the band. Now there's so much we can't keep up.
It's hard to keep up now.
Yeah,
But you were kind of on the cutting edge from the start.
From
At
the
that point,
start.
yeah.
Now it's just a new game, but then it was fun. It was just like the Wild Wild West out there with all that crazy technology.
Remember, I used to always think, man, it's all those computer nerds that are on there. Like, no real people are on there. And boy, was I wrong. Look what it turned into. I mean,
It's great, but it's a great way to communicate with your fans, though. At the same time, I'm sure you get messages in that way, and they can influence records or whatever you wanted to do. So in that sense, it's really great. Do your kids ever come out on the road with you?
Oh, yeah.
yes, they're crazy.
They're crazy.
You got to keep them back off stage.
They're
wanna run on
bigger rock
stage.
stars than us.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so are they into music? Whose
Totally.
kids are into music, yeah.
Mine are.
His are. Yours are.
Really big time.
All your sons are.
They all are. My oldest, Nathan, is now producing, and he's a DJ, and he goes on tour, and that freaks me out. So I call him up. What are you doing? Oh, I'm on the bus, Dad. I'm going to the next gig. I'm like, oh, my God. Because I remember myself at that age. I'm like, oh, just remember how I was when you were 3 years old and I was walking, and remember not to be that guy. And he's really doing good. And then there's Pirate, and Pirate wants to be a doctor. So
Wow.
it's good, but little Zeppy, I'm worried about that. He can't. Billy told me he can't. When he was born, he's been dancing. He sings and dances constantly. That's all he does, and he's amazing at it. He's just a charismatic little dude.
Love that.
Zeppelin and Pirate, the coolest names in rock and roll for kids. And Fieldy's sisters. Fieldy's two daughters are sisters.
They are sisters.
They
My
were
daughters.
They joined. Didn't they form a band for a minute there?
Yeah, they did it. They were rocking out, and it was crazy because they got in my studio, and they had their girlfriend playing. My daughter's playing bass, my other one was guitar, and they had a drummer and a singer. Within 5 hours, they recorded 2 songs and put it on YouTube in one day. I was like, I wanted to spank them. You can't do that. It took me, you know how long it took me? I was like, in one day?
Back in the day, you had to just hustle and hustle, get that money to pay for the studio or get some gear or borrow somebody. Now it's so
Crazy.
simple, we can just throw it up.
And it was better than ours. I was like, what? That sounds good.
They're really good, man.
But you
Like,
recorded
they're
yours in
off
the
doing all
studio,
this,
proper
I'm like,
studio,
what?
right? The latest record.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a proper
Multiple proper studios.
studio.
Yes.
In L.A., where all over, or
We got one in Bakersfield, where we were all originally from. I still live there. And then one was in Franklin, right?
Franklin, Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yeah, Nashville, south of Nashville.
That's where Nick,
Rock Falcon.
the Rock Falcon, that's where Nick, his studio is.
Oh, I love how you're raising your hand. Okay.
Yes, Brian, you have a
call on you.
question?
My daughter, I got to brag about
Oh, no,
her.
brag about, yeah.
So
yeah.
she loves music, and she's writing, and she's a good writer. I'm actually using like 2 of her songs on my solo stuff coming up, like just great riffs. She's awesome. It's like Deftonesy stuff.
That's awesome. It's in the blood. That's
Proud of that kid.
amazing. I love it. So, okay, 20 years from now, are we going to see Korn on the road making music still?
20 years from now?
Well, maybe 20 years.
I hope so.
Yeah? Okay.
I mean, less shows, less often, bigger shows.
Yeah, maybe bigger shows. I like
Yeah,
it. All right. Well, I love talking to you, but I know we have a huge crowd here with lots of questions. So I'd love
Okay.
to get to some of the fan questions out in the audience.
All right. Again, thank you guys for 20 years of good music from me and all the other fans. We love you guys, and you've kept me banging my head for more than 20 years. So again, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
getting to my question, I'm a big fan. When are you coming back to, I'm sorry about that, when are you coming back to New York City to promote the new album? Just seeing you in Irving Plaza, and I would love to see you again in Irving Plaza to perform some of the new songs from the new tracks.
We were hoping this album would make us play bigger places than that, but yeah. Is there? No, we always come here, man. Always, always. We love New York City. I mean, who doesn't?
Hey guys, I just wanted to echo his sentiment. Thank you so much for all of your work and your discography and all that. So I feel like Korn has so many just classic albums, classic albums, Unbreakable classic albums. What are some classic albums that you listen to now that you still put on?
Oh man, for me, I think the 9 Inch Nails, the Fragile album. I love that record.
That's a great one. That's a great one.
For me, I just been listening to, I rediscovered it, what is it called? Mezzanine.
Oh, have you heard the new Massive Attack?
Massive Attack Mezzanine.
Have you heard they put a new one out?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. You like it?
That's cool. Cool ass record. Oh, and you know another one I've been listening to? The one from the 90s, the Old Dirty Bastard record.
Oh, DB, baby.
That one is really one I've been listening to a lot too.
He likes classic 80s.
Invasion of Your Privacy, Rat.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, going there.
I like that.
We're the only ones that know it.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I like
Like who?
I just listened to Physical Graffiti by Zeppelin the other day. I haven't listened to that in forever. It's one of my favorites.
One of my favorites is like been #1 over 10 years, and it starts like goes, oh, who listened to Pineapple Under the Sea?
SpongeBob SquarePants.
What? I got the tattoo right here. You don't believe me? See it?
Amazing.
We're gonna cover that.
Do it on grindcore. Okay, cool.
That's a good idea.
Did we all go? You didn't give yours. Did you give yours?
Yeah, he said rat.
Oh,
Rat and roll.
Okay. Next question out there.
Hey guys, my first Korn show was when you guys played the Apollo Theater. Like,
Yeah.
like 16 years, 17 years ago.
Yeah.
When have you thought to like collectively as a band, like it doesn't get better than this playing a show?
Woodstock.
Woodstock. That was the craziest show, hand down, that we will ever do. Ever.
1999.
Was it?
Yeah, it was 99.
That, just everything, the whole way we got there, the gig on the way back, it was just amazing.
We've never
We
got
have a
after
private
show,
jet or something?
We had a big
Oh, oh my God.
737. It was a huge plane. It was us, Biscuit, and Cube on it. And there was 3 different sections. There was just the chill section in front, and then the middle section, Cube and all his people in there, and then the crew and some of the other people were in the back. And we had all this crazy stuff going on all the way there. I remember us shooting dice. I took a bunch of your money. I took a
Yeah,
bunch
you
of
did.
Sleep's money.
And there
Sleep, were you there?
Sleep was right there.
And
You
there
got-
Still
was,
with
but
us.
there was
Yeah.
no drugs.
All
or
you guys
alcohol.
were, man, they were.
There was no
winning.
drugs or alcohol though.
Not at all.
No,
not
no,
at
no,
all.
no.
That was the
No, no, no.
best
No, wait,
and
that's
worst,
nothing like-
best and worst weekend of my life. Like all together, just because I was really bad boy that weekend.
And really fun.
Yeah, and it was the best show ever, but I was
Ever.
really bad.
Everything you could imagine has happened all in that weekend. It was sick.
Cool. Good memories. One last question. I think we have another question in the crowd.
Hey, guys, first and foremost, as a musician, I just wanted to thank each and every one of you for constantly working on your craft. I hear it and I see it every year that you guys have been making music, and it's inspiring to me.
Thank you.
For creating
thanks,
such an
man.
instantly recognizable sound. I know how hard it is to do that and not coast on what's already been made, and you guys do that, so thank you for that.
Thanks. That's a huge
Not the easiest thing to do.
No.
My question is for Jonathan. Jonathan, what was your initial reaction when you first heard your voice, as we recognize it, in the band Korn? When you heard yourself for the first time in that mode?
Cool question, man. When I heard it first, I thought, oh my God, I've made it. I'm on a record. I'm going to be able to shoot a video. I'm going to get to see and hear our music on a CD. I mean, I won't ever forget that. That was like one of the best moments of my life. I remember we were going down, I think we were all in the car together. We were going down beach in Huntington, and what was that old metal station? KNAC. They played Blind for the first time, and we first heard our music on the radio, and I had chills upon chills upon chills when that happened. It was just an amazing experience. You got to think, we're all just 5 guys from this little town in Central California called Bakersfield. Only thing comes out of Bakersfield was Merle Haggard and Buck Owens, and it's a huge farming and oil industry. For us to beat the odds and get to this level is just a miracle. So every day, it's just like, thank you, fan, thank you, everything for letting this happen. And that was like the pinnacle moment where was like, this is actually happening. Dreams do come true. I know it sounds cheesy as hell, but they really do.
Well, thank you for that question, and I think that's a great way to end this interview. So thank you for that, all of you. And the album comes out October 21st, right?
Yeah.
Get it in stores, and already we have all the singles. So thank you guys for all coming in.
Thank you. Thank you guys.
Yeah.